and welcome to the Watchtower Watch Reviews with your host DK. And first of all, I need to say a big thank you to the Time Bombardier for loaning me his Invicta 1953 for today's review. So if you haven't checked his channel out already, make sure to go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description somewhere down below. So with this being said, you've seen me review recently a Watch Gang watch. You've seen me review a couple of, fashion-y brands over the years, the likes of, I know they're not technically fashion brands, but Timex and Casio and some of the cheaper ones on AliExpress. And now you're seeing me review an Invicta. Have I completely gone mad? Have I turned over to the dark side? Not quite, because it's one of the few Invictas I think most people would actually want to own. They haven't overdone the design. They haven't carved their name in with a penknife into the side of the case. And it's not 55mm and 44mm thick. They've kept it nice and proportioned based on, of course, the old Rolex Submariner. And is it a good job they've done with it or not? Well, that's for the review to decide. So, let's get into it. Alright, let's crack on with the unboxing. And as I said, big thanks to the Time Bombardier for this one as well. So you can see there, the new Invictas, well, at least the 1953 ones, seem to come in this weird magneto prison of a box. I thought they always came in those leather yellow ones. But no, apparently not. You can pick up the 1953 for about 70 quid on eBay. I'll leave a couple of links down below. Depends then, of course, on taxes and shipping depending on where you are in the world. But that's how much I could find them for. And if you want the specific model, I'll just throw up that link there for you. There you go, that is the model. It's the 34334 and the retail price is $595, I think. Yeah, no one pays that. Dimensions on this one, 40mm in diameter, 44mm at the crown. Lug tip to lug tip, you're looking at 48.5mm on this one, with female end links, of course, making that very, very wearable indeed. You've got a lug width of 20mm on this one, tapering down on that stainless steel bracelet down to 18mm, back up to just under 20mm at that clasp. Thickness on this one, you're looking at about 14mm, so reasonably high and tall for a watch of this size. And the weight on this one, with all links included, is 151 grams. 4 links removed from my just under 7-inch wrist, you're looking at just under 134 grams. Sole specs, well, as you would expect, it is all 316L stainless steel on the case, the crown, the bezel, and of course that bracelet. It is all brushed, bar a little bit of a chamfered edge on the case. You can see there that brushing on the side of the case and even on the crown actually, which is a bit unusual, and that little chamfered edge there on the upper end of the lug. You've also got a flat mineral crystal on this one, no AR coating unfortunately, as you can see there, dead flat, no dome or anything. A dome would have been nice because it would have added to the vintage looks of this one, but you can't get everything for your 70 quid. Also the anti-reflective coating would have been handy because it does play with the light a little bit, especially with the fact that these are all black vintage dials with those gilt-edged indices. All 1953s come with an aluminium bezel insert. This one is a two-tone red and black, of course, with the 120 click bezel. It's a reasonably satisfying click, but not the most grippy bezel I've ever held. It does line up, but there's a little bit of backplay on this one as well, so it looks like it kind of lines up and then you move it back and doesn't quite line up. If you're OCD, you'll notice it, like me. If you're not as OCD as me, then you'll probably be alright. Brushed 3-link oyster on this one with push pins. It is only unfortunately a pressed signed clasp with this one. You can also see there the brushing is a little bit uneven in certain parts of the bracelet. Again, you don't get everything for your 70 quid. There are a couple of rough edges where the high polish is still visible on little bits of it, sort of just like snotty little bits. You can see there that Invicta logo on that pressed clasp. It is a pressed clasp, but you do get 4 levels of micro adjust on this one. It's not the easiest clasp in the world to open. The fold over is a bit of a pain if you do anything to your nails or if you have a manual labor job. I just bite my nails, unfortunately, it's a terrible habit. There you go with your 4 adjustable bits as well, your micro adjusts. You do not get a diver extension on this one. Signed crown on this one with a screw down exhibition case back as well, gives you 200 meters of water resistance, and you have your Invicta yellow rotor there with the exhibition case back. Invicta water resistant 200 meters. You've got your stainless steel construction and the model 34334. Inside in this one is, of course, the venerable NH35 made by Seiko and outsourced to pretty much everyone who will ever take one. It's a hacking, hand-winding movement inside, beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, 6 ticks to the second hand per second. Unscrew the crown, it allows you to hand wind the watch. pull it out once. There is actually a ghost date position on this one, unfortunately, so it is not an NH38, it is an NH35 with a date. It's clicking away there, and pull it out another time to allow you to stop the second hand and set the time. So macro time, let's take a look at it under the macro lens, and let's get a look at that lovely vintage gilded dial. So it is all printed on indices, printed logo as well there at 12 o'clock, but it is well done in fairness. It's evenly printed, it's nice, it's retro, it's vintage, it's whatever you want to call it. I think it's a very, very good looking piece. 1953 and a red automatic down there at the 12 o'clock position, circular indices with a triangular one there at 12 and a baton at the 3, 6 and 9 position as well. There is a loom pip, but to be quite honest, we'll see in the loom that doesn't really last very long. No loom at all on that second hand, which is an unusual choice, which makes this one very much from a dive style watch into a desk diver, because if you were to take this one diving, you'd probably die. You couldn't tell what time it was and how long you'd been down there. So here it is out on my 7-inch wrist. You can see there that pressed clasp fitting well into the wrist, but not looking the prettiest if we're honest. The bracelet's not too bad on this one. It's not great. Is it on level with some of the other watches I've gotten that are in that price range at below 100 quid? Yeah, just about, I'd say, especially with the way the prices on things like AliExpress are going. However, I think the first thing you should do if you do decide to buy one of these is rip that bracelet off, throw it away, and never look at it again. Stick it on something like this. This is a Vario single pass NATO strap in black twill, I think they call it, and desert sand. It's gorgeous. It really goes with the black on the bezel, and as most of these have black in the bezel insert, actually it's well worth a go. However, if you are married to the idea of wearing it on steel, try it on stainless steel mesh. This isn't the prettiest watch I've ever had on stainless steel mesh. It's not quite exactly what I'd be looking for, but it is a nice enough looking piece. It does go quite well. It fits in with that sort of dive aesthetic. It also fits in with that vintage aesthetic, I think. Gives you that skin diver feel if that's what you're looking for, but I reckon still the NATO is the way to go. However, if you're again married to the idea of this one being your dive style watch, try it on silicone. This is an AliExpress strap. There'll be an affiliate link down below. It's a pretty decent strap. They cost about 3 or 4 quid a pop. You just buy about feckin', I don't know, 8, 10 of the things, throw them in your box, and when you want to pick one up, it's there for you, ready to go. And if you want to go for something very different, here is a brown leather strap. I'm trying to remember which one this is. I think this is a... Yes, this is a Ritchie watch band strap that they sent to me for free. I don't have to send it back. So is the Vario one, by the way. I should have mentioned that. I'll drop links for those as well in the description of the video if you do decide to want one. I think it goes well with the vintage look, and it's always nice to see leather on something like this. Just gives it a bit of difference, and I showed you enough black straps. I think a brown strap is a nice change it up. So I did mention the loom. You can see there pretty much immediately that loom pip is gone. I mean, this isn't a dive watch anyway because there's no loom on the second hand, but even if it was, the loom is pretty pathetic. There's 10 minutes of footage here. I had to speed it up and I even caught it, I think, after about 5-6 minutes on the camera. This loom is gone. I wore it to bed a couple of times. It doesn't last very long. It lasts less time in bed than me. So what are my likes and dislikes with this one? Well, the first thing I'm going to say anyway is the looks. I wasn't too sure about the aluminium bezel insert, but the more I wore it, the more I actually grew to like it. Now, you can't get a ceramic bezel insert for the price of this because red ceramic is so expensive because of the way they have to heat treat it. So your only options are basically an aluminium bezel insert. I do love the vintage looks as well. I love those gilt indices. I really like the fact that they haven't overdone the case. They haven't carved Invicta in there like a chav carving it into a tree. They haven't done anything stupid with the logo either as well. They've just simply put the name on. It's nice and simple and it's nice and clean, unlike a lot of their other options. The bracelet's okay without being excellent. It's not spectacular. It's not awful. It sort of is what it is for the price. It does the job without being spectacular. Now, things I'm not such a fan of on this one. Well, as much as the bracelet might not look too bad, the brushing on it is poor enough, if I'm honest. There's a couple of little areas there you can see on the video where I'm pointed to with my lovely gloved hand. It is not fantastic. They've missed out a couple of spots and it just cheapens the look. Also, a pressed clasp, really? You couldn't charge 5 quid more Invicta and give us a proper milled clasp? I like the fact it's got 4 micro adjusts, that's decent, but come on, seriously? Pressed clasp? Who do you think you are, Seiko? Jeez, guys, come on, seriously. Also, no sapphire on this one. It would have been lovely, even if they got a domed mineral crystal, just to keep those vintage looks going. If you do wear this one as a daily wear, you will start to scratch and scuff it up, and with that aluminium bezel insert as well, that will chip away eventually. Also, loom, what loom? You saw me do the video on it. It's pretty poor. They really could have done with putting on another 3, 4, 5 layers, honestly. It feels like the guy doing the loom got bored halfway through and went, sod it, that'll do. It's fine. You know, it is what it is. Invictas are never known for a fantastic loom. But, yeah, I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's cheaping out for the sake of cheaping out. And again, add a couple of quid would be much better. Now, something that's not a like or a dislike with this one is an exhibition case back. At least Invicta do put the yellow rotor on the NH35 to give it a bit of stamp themselves, but the NH35 is basically utilitarian movement. It's boring, it's not that exciting to look at. To me, if you've got an exhibition case back, I want to see more jewels than the Sheik's Prince Albert. This isn't this. I mean, it's an NH35. It's a bit sort of like drawing stripes on a workhorse rather than a racehorse. It's still a workhorse. It doesn't go any faster. It doesn't look any better. But overall, do I like the watch? Yeah, I like the watch if you can get one around the price I suggest, which is below 100 quid. So guys, there you have it, my review of the Invicta 1953, one of the few Invictas I'd actually own. It's a really nice piece, I have to say, not bad at all. Big thanks to the Time Bombardier again for lending it to me for the review. Is it one I would actually buy myself? I'm sort of in two minds. If I was going to buy one, I'd only ever buy the one with either the black bezel insert or the one that I had in the review, the red and black. I think that's the best colour tone for the watch itself. And I found it was the one that I enjoyed wearing most. I think if it had been a Batman blue and black, or they've got a green and black, or they've got an orange and black, and I think there may be yellow black, I'm not too sure on that one. I don't think those colours would work just as well. So I reckon the two options you have really are red and black, plain black, that's it. So hopefully you've enjoyed the review. If you did and you do want to pick up your own Invicta 1953, I'll leave an eBay affiliate link somewhere in the description of the video, and I'll try and find you a cheap one if I can. Remember, I wouldn't be paying more than about $100 for these, including shipping if you can. Again, your taxes and shipping will vary depending where you are in the world. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I have been your host DK. This has been the Watchtower Watch Reviews. That has been the Invicta 1953, and I will see you guys next time.